Hey everyone, happy Thursday. I am back with another live video for you. I've got a really good, I guess, two tips for you today. Some information that I think is going to be super helpful, especially if you have been thinking about making some changes. We're still in the beginning of the year, transformations, that kind of thing, moving into 2022. So I am going to get this shared and then we're going to dive right in. If you are just joining, please say hello, post an emoji or a comment to let me know that you are here, and we're going to get this shared um, and say hello. Get this shared very quickly. And just a reminder, the plan is that I'm going to be going live every Monday and Thursday mornings. Mornings my time, afternoons your time. Hey Lisa, thanks for joining. Um, Okay, so just a reminder, the plan is to go live twice a week, scheduled for Monday afternoons and Thursday afternoons. If there's a holiday, I won't be going live, but that is the plan. Okay, so you can check me out, set your sort of calendar. I'll put together a little post so that you guys don't miss it if you want to be here live. But today I want to talk about this whole idea about change and transformation. We're in the time of the year when people are thinking about what they want to change about their lives, what they want to transform, how they want to change their finances, their fitness, whatever, right? And I was having a conversation with a recent client, and we were talking a little bit about where she was when we first started working together and the transformation that has sort of unfolded and where she is now. And the thing that was really interesting is that she experienced one inspiration for change at the very beginning when we first started working together. It was the thing that caused her to reach out to me, right? And now we are continuing our work and she's at a different point. She has a different sort of inspiration for her change and transformation. And I thought it was really important to talk about this because I think that many people tend to think that change and transformation, like true lasting change, is inspired by one and not the other. And let's talk about what those are and why it can be problematic, okay? So the first thing that inspires us to change is, quite frankly, we don't like where we are, right? There's something that's not working, we're uncomfortable. You can kind of call it a pain point. For some people, there is, what I call a come to Jesus moment with themselves. They don't change their health until, they realize they're the heaviest they've ever been, or they go to the doctor and the doctor says, hey, if you don't change something fast, you're going to be on medication, you're going to need surgery. There's this sort of survival thing that happens. And that happens for obvious reasons. Things happen in life and, they draw our attention. Like, we are getting messages and feelings and signals and ideas all day long. And so if you are ignoring pain, if you're ignoring, let's say you've got a financial issue, if you're ignoring creditors, if you're ignoring the feelings that you have in a relationship, you're ignoring these messages or red flags, they get bigger. And they get to a point where most people look at it and go, I can't live like this anymore. I can't live in this state of my health, or I can't live in this financial situation. I can't live in this relationship anymore. I've been having lots of conversations with women about their careers. They can't continue down the path that they've been, many in the medical field, which, is understandable. They can't do it anymore. Like, they're burnt out, they have nothing left to give. There's all kinds of stuff, right? So one thing that inspires massive change and transformation is when you hit this. It can be seen as a rock bottom moment. It doesn't always feel like a rock bottom moment, but it is something that says full stop, things have to change. It is like a survival situation. I have to get out of this. I can't do it anymore. And I feel like the bulk of people who are looking at changing and transforming their lives come at it from that perspective. Like, we wait for things to get so bad, so uncomfortable, so out of our control that there's a point of no return. Like we have to change things now or else. And there's a lot of different things that can come after that or else, right? And so in the beginning of my career, I tended to work with many people who were in that sort of survival mode. Like, I have to change this now or else. And we talked about that, right? In that initial conversation, we talk about, well, what if nothing changes? What if you don't make this change now? And so that can be a huge inspiration and sort of desire, thing that creates the desire for you to change your circumstance. But that's not the only way that you can create change. Okay. And so I want to talk about the difference between these two and why it's important you understand that. So there are a large group of people who fall into the first camp. They wait until it gets, bigger and worse than ever. And then they finally wake up and decide they're going to change. Right. And then there are people, less people, who fall into this other camp. And this other camp is simply life is good, things are okay, and I choose more. Or they're in this place of they're starting to feel some things, they're like really in tune with how they're feeling and what they're experiencing, and they may get little messages, they may get little feelings, they may get little nudges. And instead of waiting until it gets to that rock bottom moment, they decide that they're going to reach out for more and change their circumstance now. And I want to talk a bit more about that. But before I do, I want to know from you, which camp do you typically fall into? Are you the survival and wait till it tends to get really, really bad, right? It's like the feast or famine thing. Do you wait for it to get really bad before you create some changes in your habits and your mindset in your life? Or are you paying attention, and when things are good, you're going, yeah, it's fine. Like, I feel some things, and so I'm choosing more. I'm choosing more from this place. So I want you to think about that. And it may be different for different categories of your life, right? So in one area, financially, you might be a person who tends to wait for it to get really bad, right? That just kind of happens. You have this feast or famine situation. It might be your health, right? You stay consistent for a while, things get better, you stop doing the things, it gets worse, and then there's this yo-yo thing that happens. Relationships can be the same thing. But I want you to really take consideration. I want you to think about your life and think about when you've been inspired to change your life. Have you typically come from the place of, it is the worst that it's ever been? It is so bad, I have no choice but to change. Like, I have to change it now. Or are you in a more empowered place? Are you in a place of recognition that it could be better? Like things, are good. There's status quo kind of thing happening, but you know that you're capable of more, that you desire more, and you have your sight set on something that is bigger, better, beyond where you are. And the energy of those two things is very different. The mindset between those two things is very different. So there is no shame if you come from the survival place, right? If you choose change because you have to, I'm glad that you chose it, right? I just want you to know that you don't have to wait for that moment. And I feel like a lot of people don't reach out for help in any area. Now, I'm not even just talking about coaching, but for therapy or health, or, let's think about going to the doctor. A lot of people don't go to the doctor at all unless they're sick. They don't go get checkups. They don't go get things, checked on. They don't go with, checking on vitamins or, you know what I mean? Like, they don't go for the maintenance. They go when things are bad. And so I really want you to start thinking about which way change unfolds for you. And the reason is because the energy that you have going into that change, if you are coming from a place of panic, there's some chaos associated with that. It feels out of your control. It feels dire. And for some people, that can be exactly what you need to really transform things. But what I'm starting to see, and the thing that I really want to help more women do, is be aware of what are the messages, what are the feelings, like really paying attention to yourself. How are you feeling in life? How are you feeling in, your job and your health and across the board? And starting to look at, is this what I want? And do I feel the call for more? A couple months back, I had a conversation with a woman, and she said, I have a good life. I have a great husband. I have a good job. I live in a beautiful house. I have great kids, but I'm not happy. And there's something that I can't quite pinpoint. And she felt guilty. And she's like, but I have so much. And we didn't actually end up working together. She decided not to. But what that showed me is that a lot of people don't reach out for help until there's something tangible that is wrong, and they're ignoring their feelings, right? And again, I'm not just saying coaching, I'm talking about therapy as well. I think that more people need therapy in general, like when things are good, when things are okay. Still go, talk through some stuff and take care of yourself, maintain yourself in that way. And again, the reason is because there's so much more power that comes from things are good and I feel the call for more. Things are okay, like things are stable, and I'd like to go to the next level. And so, what you're going to see from me probably in this next year a lot more is you're going to hear me talking about not waiting until that dire moment, not waiting for, shit to hit the fan and your house to be burned down, and I mean, hypothetically, not literally, but you know what I mean? Like your life to fall apart in order to reach out and get support in whatever shape or form that takes. And again, this can be health, this can be changing how you eat, this can be drinking more water. Like it doesn't have to be specific to coaching, right? But I want you to know that you have the power today to change and transform and up level your life. Now, I want to address something that I think a lot of people are probably going to be thinking when they watch this. And that is, who am I to ask for more? Right? Like, is that greedy? Is that wrong? Like, if things are good, I don't need to be asking for more. I don't need to be looking at, the grass is always greener on that other side. And again, that is a mindset, and there's something in that that we can definitely talk about, right? It's not about being okay in this job and then going, okay, great, I want to make it to the next income level. Although if that's what you want to do, great, go for it. It's not about that. It's if you feel the call and the desire for more, then go for it. Don't wait until things are bad, right? You can trust yourself. You can trust your intuition. You can trust your inner, voice that says things are good and I want to travel more. I want to have more confidence, right? I want to be in better shape. I want to really take care of myself and, focus on self-care all the way around. I really like my business and I want to serve more people. I really enjoy my job and I want to go to the next level. You see what I mean? There is not a problem with that. And I know that for a lot of people, it can seem like wanting more, reaching for more, always looking to do more comes from a place of lack, and it absolutely can, but it doesn't have to. It can come from a place of empowerment, right? So I really want you to start thinking about the areas of your life that you want to transform and change. And what is the feeling that is inspiring those changes, right? What is the feeling that is creating that desire to change your financial situation or your relationship or your home situation, right? Is it that things are falling apart and it feels really bad and it's a survival thing? Or is it you feel the call, like things are good, you feel stable, and you're ready to go to the next level? You're ready to go to that next level, okay? Something else that I will say, and then I have some information for you about a program if you're interested. But something else that I will say is if you are constantly waiting for the house of cards to fall before you act and before you change anything, then you become accustomed to this sort of chaotic, trauma related. I mean, it doesn't always have to be like specific trauma, but this very chaotic form of transformation. And the way that works is you can't improve anything unless it falls apart first. And I want you to think about how that might impact your life. My relationship has to fall apart first before it can get better. I have to struggle first before I can feel better. That kind of dynamic is going to manifest itself in your life over and over and over again if you're constantly waiting for things to really fall apart before you act. Okay? However, if you get into the habit of tuning in with yourself, trusting yourself, and reaching for whatever is more for you, whatever you desire. I'm not saying everyone has that, but if there is something that you want to go to the next level in, financially, in your family, build a legacy for your family, whatever that is, if you practice that more often, you're not going to have as much of that chaos. You're going to attune yourself to being able to level up your mindset, your energy, your actions, your finances, your love life, your relationships in a much more peaceful and intentional way. And I promise you, the other way feels better. The other way feels more peaceful. It feels more balanced. Okay? It feels stable. And that is where you want to come from because you are able to create more from that energy than you are from the chaos. Okay? So again, this becomes a challenge for those of us who maybe grew up in chaos. Like that happens, right? None of us necessarily had a, picture perfect childhood or whatever. But if you grow up in that life and you kind of learned that life, then it makes sense. You respond based on, the things falling apart, and that's when you act. But it doesn't have to be that way. Okay? So, this is just some food for thought and, some information about really paying attention to what inspires change for you. And if you find that you're more likely to create change in the chaos, then I want you to start thinking about what would it feel like to create shifts and changes in your life when things are feeling okay, when you've got money in the bank, when, things are working out, when you're feeling good, you have the energy, what would that feel like for you? It's probably going to feel a little abnormal if you're used to the other, but what does that feel like for you as you move forward? That's going to be key. Okay. So again, I hope it's helpful. All of these, training videos that I do are meant to be helpful and actionable, things that you can take today, right now, and start applying to your life right away. Start looking at those areas of your life, okay? Now, if this is something that is intriguing to you, and if this is like an aha moment and you're realizing, oh my gosh, I've only been living this life of when things fall apart, that's when I act, and you want to learn to transform that response system and transform that kind of change, then I have an introductory sort of one-on-one program that I'm doing just for January. I have 2 spots left in it. It is a smaller program, much more intense, I guess you could say, where you're getting lots of support, and I can teach you exactly how to do that. And we will apply it to whatever area of your life you're looking at. So I'm looking at, it's sort of called the Jumpstart 2022 program. It's very limited. I have 2 spots left in it, much more affordable than my regular program. So if this is something that is intriguing to you, if you've been thinking about, potentially getting support, or you are listening to this video and you weren't thinking about it because things were okay, and now you're going, actually, maybe I could build upon that goodness, right, and get support and take it to the next level, then definitely reach out and I can send you the details, okay? So you can respond to me in this video below in the comments. You can hit reply if you're receiving this in an email, which you may see this, or if you see it on YouTube, just reach out to me and I will send you the details, okay? So I hope that this is helpful. If you are just tuning in, make sure that you check out the replay. If you are watching the replay, make sure that you post a comment that says replay below. And if this was, helpful for you, know that I have an entire library of mindset tips, additional training videos on YouTube that you can binge watch, you can check out to just really help you, in creating those changes that you want to make. All right. So I hope that this is helpful. If you want information about that program, again, there's 2 spots left for January. Once those are sold out, then it is gone. Once the end of January comes, it is gone. So make sure you reach out if you're interested. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want more of this kind of content. And remember that I will be back on Mondays and Thursdays for live training videos right here on Facebook. Okay? Hope you guys are having a great Thursday and a great rest of your week. And I will chat with you soon. All right. Bye, guys.